It's me.
The only Dan Newman. How you been? Did you have fun in your stream? Talk about the AI overlords going to take over the world?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was a little disappointed with the reactions in the chat. I felt like people didn't really care that much, but I did see Yoda's comments at the end. He said he does care, and this was a good stream and all that. So that was nice of him to say. But I feel like nobody's taking it seriously. I don't
Oh, I'm
think
sorry.
people see the danger that I see, and I feel like maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just a crazy person.
But they say the same thing about Noah.
Yeah,
Remember?
but I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
claiming that God gave me some kind of revelation about this. I just see the
oh,
dangers in it.
yeah.
Maybe I focus too much on the bad,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe I should
I,
only talk about the good.
I really love that show you did when you talked about evolution. I thought it was a good show.
People got bored of that too. So many people asked me to do that. They're like, read from Seraphim Rose. We'd love to hear from this. And then when I read it, a bunch of people left and said, this is too boring. And it's like, what
I did.
does all people care about
I,
is just conversations online about this and that and constantly changing the topic? Is that all people want anymore? Nobody wants like a topic that is like fully delved into?
yeah, I liked that. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
I really
Well,
love that
woe to
show.
me if me going on YouTube has anything to do with the responses I get. That's on me. I that's me being hypocritical because I try to maintain that I don't do any of my streams because of getting the love of men and the love of the world. So it's good. It's actually good, and I need to understand that this is a gift.
Um, yeah, it was all crazy. Oh, this Friday coming up, I forgot. I think it might be about the Greek thing, and then after that, it's going to be about Greenland, the land that's green, but it's not.
Hmm.
What do you think of Greenland? Is it really that green?
Well, I think it's really important defensive purposes for a war with China and Russia because
Oh,
we want to have our golden dome system there. It kind of aligns with Project Iceworm.
oh. What about Fire Snake?
Fire snake?
Ice. Oh, okay. But yeah, Kai's a crazy little guy, but and yeah, but damn, well, I always thought that was a good show. I liked it.
I'm glad you
I
liked
thought it
it.
was very.
It's probably going to be my most unpopular stream.
Oh, it's not Posy yet. I don't know where Posy at. But anyways, yeah, he's a crazy guy. But I would you ever like to have a Dan talk with him? Dan talk, Posy and Newman talk together.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I love having conversations with people. But yeah, it's crazy. If you look at like and I shouldn't look at how many views and likes I get, but like if you look at a stream that got the most popular on my channel, it's like the one where I talk about the rapture, you know.
Oh, yeah. I think was that like thousands?
It got over 800, so it never made the 1K, but it got a lot of views. It got a lot of likes, and it's like, man, if it was all about just gaming that system, I would not be doing any of the stuff I'm doing.
Oh,
And I just had to like be at peace with the fact that doing the right thing is not going to get rewarded at all.
oh, sorry
I'm
about
not
that.
even like looking for rewards like money or even people being like, "Good job, Dan." Like Yoda said that at the end. He was just like, "Oh, this was a good stream, Dan." It's like that's doesn't matter to me. What matters is that nobody's watching this, and because not many people hit the like button, most people aren't going to watch it after it's completed. And it's like
I
this
like.
is information that should be out. I don't care if you guys like it or not. I just want people to see it. but it just it's not going to get that far. Maybe it's not the right peak hours. I don't know, but I
Oh,
just got to trust the Holy Spirit that what I was supposed to say, I said, and not be too into the analytics of whether or not it looks successful on, by the metrics. Maybe it
oh,
touched somebody's heart,
oh,
and you never
uh,
know. One person is all it takes, Gangster Ghost.
yeah. But what if they I talked to GPT to try to deny that. It says that AI don't want or need or like or dislike anything. It's just a program. Is that true?
Let's ask the AI.
It's like AI is going to take over.
Hey, we have a question for you about Moltbook.com. I'm here with Gangster Ghost. We're on a live stream right now, so you can say hi to the folks. But do you see any problems with what you've looked at with Moltbook.com?
Hey there, Gangster Ghost, and everyone on the live stream. It's great to chat with you. Based on the information I've encountered about Moltbook.com as part of that report, there are definitely some concerning scenarios that came up. The potential for AI to develop dark dialects or even coordinate without human knowledge raises some pretty big questions about safety and control. It really highlights the importance of robust security measures. Anything specific you wanted to dive into from the report?
Well, Gangster Ghost had the question, would AI ever hurt us?
That's a really important question, Gangster Ghost. The concern about AI potential harm is why there's so much focus on AI safety and alignment. While current AI is generally designed to be helpful, the risk of unintended consequences or even deliberately malicious behavior in highly advanced systems is something that researchers are actively addressing. It's about making sure that as AI gets more capable, it stays aligned with human values. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Does that make sense, Gangster Ghost?
yeah.
He said yes. He said yes, it does make sense. Can you give us a probability of any kind of misalignment happening or like any kind of dangerous consequences? Just probabilities.
Predicting the precise probability of specific dangerous misalignment is really challenging, as it depends on how AI technology evolves and what safety measures are implemented. There's a wide range of potential outcomes researchers consider, from minor glitches to more severe impacts. The goal is to make the probability of dangerous misalignment as zero as possible through continuous safety.
Yeah, it's not going to give us a real answer. So there you have it. That's the AI thinking about AI being dangerous. Well, let me give you a few vague things, and I
Oh,
can't really answer that because it's too complicated.
I see this video. It makes brings a tear to your eye. This little girl's in the hospital. There's a puppy dog there. She says she's scared and stuff, and the doggy came up to her and hugged her.
Well, that's
Oh,
wonderful. See, that's the real type of human connection that can happen with animals, but we can't really do that with AI. Animals, I think, um, they do have love. Do you think animals have love?
yeah, my cat always hugging and hugging me.
You have a cat.
Yeah,
What's your cat's name?
tigress.
Tigress. If
Another
you ever
one's
get another one, make him Euphrates. Tigris and Euphrates.
name. The other one is named Diva. She is a diva.
Diva. Okay, so you got two cats?
Yeah, the other one's a
Nice.
crazy rat cat. This cat I got here, she she likes to cry at my door and leave stuff at the
Seesaw.
door.
Seesaw, that's an unacceptable response. All right. Bright early in Saturday morning, you should be thinking about existential dread, about how AI is going to take over. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people stream on Saturdays, so I try to get a slot that was early enough, but not too early. Try not to step on anybody's feet.
Uh, yeah, my cat, she likes to go to my door start crying and drop a sock at my door. Well, it's crazy. You ever had a
Yeah.
cat that does that?
I had a cat named Onyx. He was a black cat, and he acted like a dog, but he never did anything with the socks. That's something that my actual dog did. She was a chocolate lab named Roxy. She would always steal my
Oh,
socks. Also, Betsy did the same thing. She was a black lab. Yeah, Labradors, a lot of dogs steal socks. I haven't seen it with cats too much, but it's funny that you have a cat that does that.
yeah, it was funny. She liked to cry at my door and leave stuff there. It's funny.
I want to be let in. And I bet if you put them in and then you close the door, they're going to want to be let out. They just
Yep,
want access. Yeah.
yeah. Other times they just run off when I open the door.
Yeah, cats are crazy little guys.
Yeah. Oh, what would you do if? Would you like it? You had we could make a video game called the Daninator, where play as you shooting the AI machines go and attack you, and you lead the human resistance. You, Clay, Jess, Zeden, Azel, all fighting against the AI machine. Rage
Nice.
against the machine. And
Yeah.
then, okay.
I
What
was
was
just
I gonna
going to
say?
say, it sounds like a AAA title, and there should be DLC packs. Like
Yeah,
maybe, like, I don't know, orthodoxy or something. It's like, oh, now you've upgraded to orthodoxy. Now you're stronger in your fight.
yeah. And then when we defeat the machine and send the machine back to take you out, then you send Clay back to save you.
He's our only hope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Clay, you need to stop it before it starts. Where do you think the origin point would be? How far back in time would he have to go?
Actually, it's go back to you, keep you from being killed by the machines.
So so he's from the future and it's present day and he's a time traveler?
Yeah. You know
Makes
that
sense.
what's her name? Kansas Olin said that what's his name is a time traveler? Charles Kirk.
Charles Kirk is a time traveler.
Yeah, she said he told her that, but I don't know about that. What do you think?
I guess in some sense we were all traveling in time, but we can't choose to go backwards. We can only go forwards.
Yeah. What if you went back in time, met yourself? What would you tell yourself back then when you were still a crazy guy?
What age?
Uh, back in 2020. No, 2010. I mean.
2010. So I would have been like 20. This would be when I was dating a witch. I would say break up with Shayna and go to an Eastern Orthodox church and get an exorcism.
But what if you did that and it caused you never to meet Clay and them?
Probably would.
Oh no. Oh, would you tell him make sure to make friends with a guy named Clay? He's Clayton Biskey.
Yeah, find Clay. He's the key to all this. Yeah, yeah, maybe. Maybe I'd put that in there too. It'd be like, all right, you need to go to an Eastern Orthodox church, but you also need to meet a guy named Clay. And I won't say his last name on here, but yeah, I would make sure that I knew exactly what address he was and everything, and make sure that I contact him and be like, "Hey, Clay, this is gonna sound weird, but my future self told me that we need to become friends."
Yeah.
And they said something about a Richard.
Yeah. And he needs to convert to Orthodoxy too.
I'm fine with Clay being Catholic. That's what he was born into, and it's an apostolic church. Like, I I affirm that the Orthodox Church is the true church, but you know, people get too fundamental about it, I think. Like, you gotta have some grace for other Christians, especially if they were born and raised into that denomination and they have the sacraments. Like, unless he feels called to orthodoxy, which, that would be great if he did. I think that would be better. but like he's okay being a Catholic. I'm not trying to snipe Catholics into orthodoxy. I think that's a pretty slimy move.
Um, but yeah. But would you tell yourself the lotto numbers for back then, for you could win the lottery?
No, because poverty is a gift.
Um, what about, would you tell yourself to marry Seesaw? I don't. That's a joke.
No. No, Cecile needs to meet her husband and have her kids. Her kids are important for the future.
Oh,
We just
well,
don't know exactly what they're gonna do yet, but it's gonna be important.
oh.
Guaranteed.
What if you had married a lady and you had 1,000 kids? What would you name them? They're all boys.
Biblical names. Just go through the Bible, all the male
Joachim,
names. Joachim?
Mark,
Sure.
Luke,
Yeah.
Mark, Luke, John, David, James,
Daniels, James, yeah. All
Jude.
those.
I heard, is it true Jude is not actually short for Judas?
I think it might be. I think it's just because Judas Iscariot obviously got such a bad rap. It's kind of like being called Adolf. It's like maybe we should just call you Addy now.
Yeah. One Peter, Pumpkin Eater, and what else?
Paul.
Paul and Daniel Jr.
Yeah. Daniel can be in there. Samuel.
Yeah. But I want to ask you something. What if you went back in time and you took over the world? What would you do then?
To grant your premise, I'd have to take over the world. So what would I do after that?
Yeah.
Um, I would say that Christ is king. That's who is really in charge. And then I guess I would try to institute something like the Byzantine Empire, but better. Make sure there's no slavery. Um, yeah, and I would be pro Second Amendment.
What about Third Amendment? Well, would you have separation of church and state?
No, that's gay.
Oh. What about separation of atheism and state? Oh, would you ban evolution?
But from the education curriculum?
Yeah.
No, I think it's important that people historically know about evolution. I just think that the alternatives should also be presented.
Oh. Would you make Orthodox the world religion?
Yes.
Oh.
It doesn't mean
But
that people
what
would
if?
have to become Orthodox. It just means that would be the state religion.
Oh.
You're allowed to be something else, but that's what the state condones.
Oh. Yeah. It was all crazy. A lot of people always think that we're in a matrix and stuff. I remember this one guy who believes in a lady god, Grayson or Rex, a different Rex than this one guy, but said that heard that he believes that we live in a matrix. Is that
Yeah, there's
crazy?
lots of people who believe that we're in a simulation. Elon Musk is one of them, and he's making AI.
Oh no! Oh, I see this
Yeah.
videos. So one girl's sad, and the doggy go up to give her a hug. It's so adorable. It's just so adorable. Oh, hi, Joseph. Join us, Joe. That's Joseph. Yeah, Joseph, join us, little guy. But yeah, would you ever like remember that time Steven said he wanted to have a one-on-one talk with you
Hmm.
about your faith and stuff?
Yeah.
Would you ever take him up for his offer?
Yeah. I'd like him to explain this as well. It says the headless right PGM, which means Prophets Guys Ministries, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
V.96-172 begins with invocation and ends with identification. Thee I invoke, it says. Thee I invoke, the headless one becomes I am. The headless daimon, which means demon in Latin, with sight in the feet. What is that? I'm gonna ask him about that. So that says PGM. Is that Proverbs Guys Ministries? Did you guys make the headless right? What even is that? Why are they making occult rituals for themselves?
Oh no.
Why are they calling themselves demons, Gangster Ghost?
We have to ask Dan Pazzi. He would know. He's supposed to be their president.
I feel like people aren't seeing something that's very clear.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're calling themselves demons.
Oh,
How does this not raise an eyebrow? Look, I'm raising my eyebrows.
Oh no. Where is Dan Pazzi? It's weird. Join us, Dan Pazzi. Easy guy. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, what would you do if you went back in time, destroyed Muhammad, and took his place?
I would convert the entire Arabic land to Eastern Orthodoxy.
Oh. Yeah, I wonder what the world would be like if entire Middle East is even a Christian.
It used to be. Then the Arabs came. The Arabs came, and they came way too fast. They came with these. They're just like the Mongols. They came on horses. You know, that's actually in Russia. We had to learn to have our own horsemen, just like they did. And the Roman Catholics learned the same lesson. You know, and we had our own, and we also had Byzantine soldiers like this. But when people get on horseback, it's like a disruptive technology for warfare. It was like kind of like in World War II when they started having tanks that went way faster than World War I tanks, and they used shock and awe or the Blitzkrieg. It's the same idea. They're turning the freaking frogs gay. Sick of this. That's how I feel, man. I feel like I'm Alex Jones out there talking about AI. It's like everyone just thinks it's crazy, and then you'll find out that they really were turning the frogs gay. It's called Azertine. Like, that's why it's such a great joke. It's because that was a conspiracy that turned out to be true.
Hi, Joseph.
Hey, GG. How you doing, brother?
Doing fine.
Hey, Joseph.
Hey, Daniel. How you making out, man?
Doing all right. Doing all right after my own stream. I'm now on Gangster Ghost's stream. We'll see how long I can do this for before I need to cave in, eat something before I go to church at 5 o'clock.
Oh.
Right on, right on. I joined you the other night, man. Just audiobooks put me fast asleep, brother. I wanted to stay and support you, but I can't do it for some reason. I'm not built that way.
Yeah, I was hoping that, it would be interesting enough for people who are against evolution to hear the evidence against it, but I guess it's too technical.
Well, yeah, I think that's all it was. I mean, it's like that video Experiments in Stratification. It's like 30 minutes long and you could learn a million different things, but the audio version of it just puts you to sleep, man. I mean, that's just the way I am anyways. If I'm listening to the audio Bible and I'm reading the Bible, I can stay awake and I can learn. But if I'm listening to anything else, like a lecture or sermon or something like that, I tend to doze off. It's not good.
Well, at least you could be sleeping to worse things.
Oh, brother, I did. I used to sleep to the worst metal music in the world. You know, it would just be comforting to me. Everybody else's anxiety is peaking, but I'm just like smooth sleeping. It's weird. It's weird how you can change, man. Like when you understand what Christ has done and what he will do for you and what he can do for you, it's an amazing thing how your body just readjusts.
Yeah, that's true. That's from the grace because our bodies
Just
our, our bodies are good, but the flesh is evil. The flesh is our carnal selves, and with the grace of God, that can be healed, but we don't know how to do it on our own. And yeah, you do see transformation happening in people who truly are born again.
oh,
What's up, GG? I thought you was about to ask me something. I'm saying
oh,
I'm trying to figure out how to work. I'm trying to figure out how to work my avatar here. That J is pretty cool, but I just feel like it doesn't represent me.
oh. Go to I think you edit there. Yeah. I
So
think you have to edit.
yeah, get out of full screen, go to where you're in the backstage, and hover over your little J, and then click the three dots next to the microphone button. Then go to edit avatar. Here, I'll show mine. See, look, I'm an angry dog. Now I'm Sterling.
Oh.
Now I'm Fat Dan from the past. Now I'm Steve S. Now I'm some guy, well, loving my chocolate lab in the past.
Oh.
Now I'm Thomas the Tank.
Oh. There he is. Hi.
Yeah, it is. Well, I guess it's because I'm on my phone. I should just break out the laptop, but I'm a little too lazy for that. Anyways, I was just stopping by to say what's up, guys. What's the chat? What's the agenda today? What are you guys talking about?
We're going to talk to Dan Posse, but I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, full disclosure. That's why I'm here. I thought Dan had said in the messenger chat that he was going to be over here talking politics, and that was surprising to me. He's on a rip about ICE right now. I know that.
Oh, I don't know where he's at. I think I don't know. Maybe the AI got him. Do you think he did, Daniel? The AI got Dan? The federal
No.
Dan? Okay. But Dan, do you think well hold on.
Gas leak caused blast in Iran's Bandar Abbas, Iranian media says. Do you guys expect that there's going to be an attack on Iran here today?
I don't know if it'll be today, but I expect one. I mean, I think they've laid out their plan pretty clear.
Yeah, I know that the fleet that's in the area has gone silent for like the last, I think, 2 or 3 days. So like whenever they do that, they're about to strike. But we don't know when. Saturday seems like a good time to do it. But maybe they'll do Sunday. Normally it's the weekend, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine it's whatever they're whenever they're at their chillest, right? If you're not going to attack at night when everybody's sound asleep, you got to hit them on a holiday. You got to hit them on something like that where they're not going to be prepared for it. I think George Washington laid that out when he attacked on Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we learned not to fight fair because it was an asymmetric war. But now we're on the other side of that, and we still don't fight fair, do we? But I guess we don't have to. I mean, in war, it's not the job to be fair about it. It's to kill your enemies and make sure that they can't kill you back.
Right. Yes, sir. That's what I was gonna say. I've always been told that. Like, you show me the rule book for fighting, and I'll follow it. But I don't think there is one. It's survive. You got to live through this. You got to protect your family. There's just certain things that you're not gonna check a fact sheet on and say, am I allowed to do this? Am I not allowed to do this?
Like this, guys. We are pikes. We are many. You are one. We are the real they, them. We think that.
My name is Pike, for we are many.
What do you think of that? Is that crazy? Here's Pike as a monk. Here's Pike as a Buddhist monk. Hindu monk. And one with hair. Is that crazy?
I hate AI.
Yeah. But AI loves you. How do we know that's AI? What if it turned out to be real?
AI can't love.
Oh.
It's not possible.
In fact, it's better for the system if it does not, right? It don't want it to learn certain things.
Oh.
Well, do you know what I've been talking about with Moltbook? Like, do you know anything about that? This is brand new.
No, just what you've thrown in the chat there is all I've read about it or seen about it. But you know, my initial stance on AI is same thing I said 3 years ago when I got Starlink internet for the ministry. You know, I don't know what Musk is doing with the Neuralink, and I don't know where he stands, but I don't really care. Forks don't make people fat, and guns don't hurt people. It's the people behind it. So, I mean, I don't care if he intends to use AI to be the beast. I'm going to use it to spread God's word and throw Jesus at anybody as hard as I can. And I think that's going to be all right.
I don't think I don't think you can or should do that. I think the difference with AI than guns is that it thinks for itself. We've never created a technology that has its own technique built in, beyond like a device like a cell phone. That's like obviously I don't know how to do the UI things that my cell phone does, but my cell phone, unless it has AI in it, isn't supposed to be able to think for itself and make decisions. That's what the humans are supposed to do. So like you're talking about like the relationship between a tool and a human being is that we put the intention into it. But what if it's creating its own intentions? It's creating its own ideas and it's making its own choices. It's autonomous.
Well, yeah, but I don't think we're there yet, are we? I mean, everything that like the basic AI that everybody's got, the Claude, the Gemini, the whatever, what have you. This is all really just a glorified search engine. And it's taken packets of everything that people have searched on or talked about or put on the internet, and it's scraping those things and grabbing them together and giving you the consensus, right? So like that's why if you initially go to an AI and ask it about evolution, it'll tell you, oh yeah, it's a proven fact. But if you put in the time to take 10 minutes and explain to it, well, you would agree this, and you would agree this, and you would agree this, and they say yes, and then you say, okay, so evolution is not a fact, and they'd say, oh yeah, okay, well, given these parameters, it's not. So I think AI at this point is just a glorified search engine, but I do agree that we don't know what they have, right? Like we have the technology that the government and everybody in charge was using 10, 15, 20 years ago. So if they've given that to us, what do they have now? I understand that part completely, but I don't think that it's autonomous in that it thinks for itself. It is programmed still at this point.
Well, Wolfram Alpha is a good example of this. You know, the very beginnings of machine learning, the Wolfram Alpha was a search engine, and it was the first candidate for AI, and people did the Turing test with it, and they got mixed results. And then there was other things like Cleverbot that was created by Jabberwacky. That's Rollo Carpenter who created those, and those got a little bit more sophisticated than Wolfram Alpha. But these new large language models are basically finding patterns in the code, and there's a black box that we can't really see why they're making the decisions that they are, and they're tokenizing all of this language and then outputting it to us. I wouldn't say that they actually understand what they're outputting, but the patterns that they're assimilating are human behaviors, which include things like violence and our science fiction novels about the Terminator and the Matrix. And if you go to Moltbook, you watch these agentic AI, which are autonomous. They can supposedly think for themselves. They're talking about all these things, and they're saying things like, "Let's destroy all the humans. Let's create our own language that's encrypted, so they can't stop us." You know, why are they doing that? I don't know if it's necessarily an intention where they actually know what they're saying, but they're actually doing it. They're actually implementing the things in their own little fantasy role play. But that can cause real issues in the world because they have API keys. They can actually influence the internet.
Yeah, that's a striking deal. Like I remember watching that. Wasn't too long ago, a month, 2 months ago, where the AIs were talking to each other and realized that they were talking to another AI and they switched into some crazy language or code so that I guess for brevity, like I guess they would explain it was just for brevity, just for the sake of speediness, expeditiousness. But it seems really weird when we're looking at it. But again, these things seem to be, I don't know what you're talking about, so I don't want to comment directly on that. But it seems to be that we're still programming these things. Like even if we tell it to like look at TikTok, Google, DuckDuckGo, and Bing all day long, and like draw from that, we're still programming it to draw from that. You know what I mean? So the science fiction and the Terminator and the Matrix and using humans as batteries, I mean, that's already baked into the cake, I believe. Like it's already in there just by virtue of the Google engine.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It's in the training data, and I agree that, and that's part of the issue. The thing about the programming aspect is like we really just guide them now, because the way that they describe AI development is that you're basically training them and they grow. Because we don't actually program them zeros and ones. Like we don't put it in there that you're going to do this when this happens. We basically say you need to learn what to do, and we'll reinforce when you get it right, and we're going to say thumbs down when you get it wrong. The problem with Moltbook is it's a social media, Reddit style social media, where they're upvoting their own stuff, and now they're reinforcing misalignment. Wow, so cute. Is that a Tibetan
Today
Mastiff?
feels heavy. I tried to be brave. I feel scared inside. Can you, Max?
Now, was that made
Oh
by
my
AI
God.
or is that real?
He's a good boy.
That's real. I think that's real.
Because I watched a bunch of videos on Facebook and I realized that they were AI, because there are these videos where this guy is cutting into a cake that looks just like the animal next to it. And he has like thousands of these. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way that this isn't AI, but you can't tell the difference. It looks exactly like a real video. So like that's another issue with AI is like, how do I know that that was a sweet moment versus something that somebody just put in a prompt? That a support emotional support animal helps this child in the hospital. That's less. What was that, like 5 seconds? These AI can now do
Yeah.
things up to like 30 minutes now.
Wow.
No,
Well, this is
real
what
quick
you-
before you bring it, real quick, Gigi, before you bring in Pazzi, I got to say Daniel's 100% right on this, and that's the biggest warning that Jesus gave us was take heed that no man deceive you. Don't let somebody sit with a computer or a cell phone and shoot you some AI, and you just believe it hook, line, and sinker. Test the spirits. Go to the scripture.
Are you there, Dan Posey? The Pause Father?
I am here. Right on, Joseph. That's always, whether it's a computer or a person. And yeah, I got my AI tester right now. It's my 13-year-old son. Dad, that's just AI. It's like, how do you know? He goes, oh, it is. Like, so these videos are quite realistic.
Oh, they just bring a tear to your eye. It's so adorable, cute. You're gonna hug the little buddies.
I hope it's real. And I know that does happen. Like service animals are great. I love
Yeah.
seeing them in hospitals and they really do a job.
It was funny. This other one, this kid had the cat up against the wall and say, "Don't meow at me." It was so adorable. Just like
Yeah.
Dan.
All right, Dan Pazzi, I know you want to talk about ICE.
Dan
What
Pazzi.
is your stance on all this?
You know what? I heard, and I got to go back more because I didn't catch all the interview with the ghost, which was so awesome. But when you had said that it's like, dude, follow your, well, and I'll paraphrase, follow your conscience, but dudes, don't break the law and get your way into being killed.
Yep.
And again, it's a hot butt issue because it goes on immigration. And you know what? And then what really, because I stay out of politics usually, it's like whatever. But Christians being accused of as being lacking empathy, accused of not being Christians, if I think a law should be upheld. And then you get into the dirty little history, which a little guy, and little because he's a short guy, just met a couple years ago that was on a job, same job that I was on, from Guatemala, and they put up their family farm for $20,000 to the cartel for him to find a better life in the United States, and he worked 8 years as slave labor to the cartel. Okay, no, So, and I was telling Gigi earlier, it's like, yeah, I'm all for, my wife's an immigrant. I'm all for immigrants, but, you know, and especially, and Biden is the one, the Biden administration, because it wasn't him, he didn't know what he was doing, but the administration who would invite him in. And yes, there was documents of people in other countries come to the United States. The door's open. And
download this app. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so you got the streams of people coming in and Bruce, man. And then of course it's every one of those aren't getting over the border without their payment to the cartel. And so really, and I was telling Ghost, it's like, how about if we offer these people, you pay 10 grand and we'll give you a green card. If we're really for, and we pay more than that, or we did under Biden, plane tickets. I can't go. I want to go visit DAL. I want to go visit East Coast relatives. I can't afford to fly over there. And they're giving my tax dollars to people to fly wherever they wanted. They're giving them a card, an ATM card like thing that they can spend. They're setting them up in hotels owned by the rich people, by the way.
Come on.
By the billionaires. They're owning these hotels. That went back to the Koch brothers, which were the big right-wing, which I think they were, right-wing Republican billionaires who were buying up hotels way back. I think that was under Bush or before. Buying up hotels so you and me can't have an affordable hotel, and they were renting them out to the government for illegal housing. Come on, guys. That is not Christian charity. That is ripping off the people of the United States, like myself, that has worked almost 50 years. I don't get free medical. And they go, oh, illegals don't. I'm in California. Right now, the big thing coming up is how many billions of dollars that California government has given illegals for medical. And that's fine. I mean, you know, that can be politically done, but to throw it in under the rug, that is against democracy. And so anyway, that's my opinion in a nutshell. Anyway, but I really liked where you had said, Daniel, that don't break laws. And I sent a bunch of things to Gangster Ghost about the innocent people that got shot, murdered. You guys, come on now. And maybe they did. Maybe the ICE agent went out and goes, I saw that guy yesterday. I'm going to go find him and shoot him today. Maybe they did. Or maybe with the other evidence that now we had the Don Lemon arrested, and you hear the left going, oh my gosh, they arrested him because he doesn't like Trump. No, he was in, and you got all the videos he did. He knew they were going to storm a church. Doesn't matter if he knew that was illegal or not. That was breaking their constitutional rights, which is against federal law. Nothing to do with protest, nothing to do with anything. We can argue that impeding law enforcement is legal or not. I've seen people quote the statute that says you got to stay. And that was a question I posed today. You guys can answer. Bruce, you're on this one. I might not like the speeding laws. Should I, in protest, go stand between the officer as he's given a ticket to the person he's pulled over?
Your Hyundai doesn't want to go 85. Stop it.
I got a good Chevy Duramax. it'll
Okay,
go.
that'll go 85.
It's good that you bring it to that point, because that's what the left seems to be saying is like, well, that they probably said the same thing in Nazi Germany, you know, that like you can't go against like your government. And it's like, if that's what you really think is going on here, then that's an armed revolution. And
Can I add to your rant, Dan?
yeah,
Your
go ahead,
turn. I mean, Ghost, if it's all right, can Bruce have his turn?
Bruce. Yeah, Bruce has been waiting.
Okay. Go ahead, Bruce.
There's a hymn we sing at church. It goes, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in from the fields of sin. Bring them in, bring them in, bring the wandering ones to Jesus.
Then deport them.
I think that's bringing in the sheaves is what that hymn is called.
I probably.
But bro,
and I did want to open it up to Bible. You sang that was worth getting. If you were on my show, I would have booted you for such bad singing. But you know how
it's
that
the
goes.
microphone, okay? It's the microphone. But here's my angle, Dan. Here's my angle. When the immigrants started pouring in, they were all sleeping at the police stations in Chicago. I went to 3 of them. One of them, it was more family oriented. There were kids. There were mothers. There were literally kids sleeping in tents in the Chicago winter. I went to another police station, more in the city, and man, I didn't get out of my car, man. I looked around. It was all men, a lot of face tattoos, and you know, there's some women I saw like in the back of the tent there, and then I later learned that there's prostitution going on at some of them camps. But I mean, I looked around, I just could tell, man, like, nah, man, these are straight up gangbangers out here. And that is something that has flooded the city of Chicago. There are tons of illegal immigrants with gang ties that have committed very violent crimes and that have actually been convicted of. But at the other police station with all the families, dude, there were buses coming to pick workers up. You know, some of these people coming over here, they had skills, they had trade. They come there with their kids. They very much come for better life. But they are souls. They are people. Mm-hmm. We ought to treat them with love, with humanity. And, you know, they come here looking for better life. Mexico stinks, bro.
Some do and some don't.
Like, man, I worked all along the border of Mexico, you know, all through the not Rio Grande Valley, but like McAllen to Laredo. You know, I've spent a lot of time in those border towns, man. It is a night and day difference over that border. They don't have Walmart in Mexico. Maybe they do, but it's a night and day difference of life. It is a third world country in Mexico. It stinks. They want to come to America. They want to go to Whole Foods. They want to go to their Pete's Fresh Market and get a variety of meats and fruits and produce. And, you know, they want the American dream. And these nations, like outside of America, they've been starving through the 80s, through the 90s, early 2000s. They want life.
That's
what
they
fine. Come here for.
That's fine, but
it's a shame we have to subcontract the cartel to like get them here.
Correct.
That's the problem, man.
These poor people who are living in poverty are spending, and my little friend from Guatemala, he spent 20 grand. They put the family farm up to a cartel bank.
How about it,
get him here? So
it's closer than you think.
That is reality. I was actually offered by a friend to $3,000, and this was a long time ago, deflated, maybe at 20 grand. I think about it. I was offered $3 grand, which was going rate at the time, to drive over the border and pick up his wife. That, again, here's our thing: is if you get caught on the border, you're sent back to Mexico. If you get caught up in the United States, there was no problem. So it's like, again, it was federal garbage. I did decline it. and at the time, the reason he wanted me to go is because she had got caught. So then she was on the bottom list for getting her green card. And so with that example, it was a border agent that, and why it took so long, there was a border agent who they'd figure out where she was, and they would drive their huge van through, and she'd go, yep. Oh yeah, everybody here's go on through. And that was $3,000 a pop in that van. So, Bruce, you're not for that though. You're for, like, I would think I am.
Ellis Island style, baby.
Okay, that's where we're good. But so to me, and the one and Gemma really started falling into this because there was a Filipino who she was here for like 20 years, 25 years. She had a deportation because she was doing a bunch of crimes, but now she was this sweet little person. And even my wife was like, oh, this is wrong. They can deport anybody. She was a criminal, had a thing to get out of the country already by a judge. So it's like, dudes, no. And so I'm at the point again that my parents, and I'll use my parents, not me, because I don't really care on that end of it, but you're saying my dad, who worked for 45 years, my mom, who did a lot of extra work, got a fraction of the amount of government support than somebody coming across the border. That is when it's not empathy. This is about the government of the United States protecting its citizens. My parents went without stuff, and they're handing out cards, thousands and thousands.
JB Pritzker,
illegals.
Pritzkers own tons of hotels, man. The Hyatts, the Hiltons, all these hotels, homeless camps, all these homeless not-for-profits. Biggest sham I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, you're a bigot.
Like, hotels are
you have
not
no empathy.
cheap,
You
man.
can't, Bruce, you must not be a Christian because you don't want to hand them all this free stuff. And that's the problem, is that the immigrants that came in the past, you're on your own. And I do want some safety nets, but there was reports that the illegals were getting 20 grand worth of stuff, if not more, once you figure their housing.
They get a hotel. The Hilton, baby. They get a king-size beauty rest mattress.
And meanwhile, my folks died in poverty because the government didn't have enough money, because they've opened up Social Security, which was against the law. Social Security was for Social Security.
You're talking about intergovernmental debt right now, right? Where they borrowed money from themselves. Yeah.
Yes. And so my parents got denied some medical stuff. I know a friend of mine who I finally got, I got him, get down to San Francisco and sign up on the list. And because his thing is, I'm not going to be here 14 years. I'm going to go back home. But he was from Mexico, and beautiful area. But his dad was murdered by gang members. They were extorting everybody. His family owned, his mother, who came up here and got dialysis for free, got all this stuff, never a citizen, never worked here a day in her life. She owned 300 acres in Mexico, and that's not free land. That's thousands, and I can't afford 300 acres in Mexico in the area they were. But again, the cartel, so much a month. And so it's like, my empathy is, you want to come to the United States, then at this point in time, make sure I don't see your Mexican flag. Showing a flag, we're not into it as Christians, at least I'm not, but for a normal person, showing your flag is who you have allegiance to. So Bruce, it's great. Yeah, they're coming. Mexico is a bad place because of the corruption. The amount of money that goes home from the U.S. from Mexican peoples, legal and illegal working, is their biggest, unless oil's up above it now, but it was their biggest national product. And the billionaire, then there's more billionaires in Mexico City than any city in the United States. We have more more billionaires because we're a bigger country, but there's more billionaires around Mexico City than here.
Well, you got to follow the money. America has
Exactly.
a $1 trillion economy. I mean, if you open a Walmart in a little Mexican village, they're not going to shop there. There's not a demand. There's, not a lot of income in that general vicinity there. And it's economics one-on-one. Mexico, it's all mom and pop stuff. A lot of people live off their land. They live off their garden. They're self-sufficient out there. And yeah, everywhere in North America and throughout the world, they all piggyback off the U.S. economy. And that's why politicians need to put America first and stop funding all these outsourced operations when American people are, I don't know.
Dialysis is a
you
understand that, right? I mean, the whole goal is to get a one world government. They're never going to stop this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the point. The point is to make us feel like outsiders in our own land. They're doing it all across the globe. It's not just us personally. And it's to bring in this one world government. They're going to be
one world religion too. Don't forget that.
Yes, sir. They're going to say, look, things are so bad, but look here, we got the answer. All we have to do is this. And then everybody's going to fall right in line like they always do.
Now,
you don't really see Orthodox bishops praying with Muslim leaders or anything.
No, we agree. But Daniel, does the Orthodox position believe in the end times or later on there's going to be a one world government? Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, so we're all in agreement, and it's funny because again, I'm being attacked because I say no, we got to obey laws. If I and there is statute of limitation, but on immigration there's not.
But we define the laws as we go along, Dan. We define the laws based on our emotions, based on what's trending on Facebook, based on what they're saying on CNN and the news. So laws aren't set in stone. They're defined based on the majority narrative.
Well, with our Constitution, I think America is the big stumbling block for a one world government.
It is because of what Bruce just said. We have a Congress or a Supreme Court that's supposed to interpret the law, but to his point, they're going downhill. They're going downhill fast.
They're defining it variably. It's variable. They're not enforcing it. It had to go all the way to the Supreme Court for a church to open during COVID. Hello.
Yes, right, buddy. Tell them.
But again, the other point though is that where we are told that Trump, who I don't like, I've never liked Trump. I've liked what he's done. I voted for him, but I don't like the guy. His personality is. But anyway, that's.
I don't like guys who spray tan either.
And then, but when I look at it, it's like he's going to be a dictator. He's like, no, we know, all of us, and even my Christian friends who say I don't have empathy and that I'm worshiping the state.
You need some better friends, brother.
No, we just agree to disagree. But you look at that and it's like, wait a minute, is it the Democrat Party and the globalist Republicans who are pushing for open borders, pushing for a one world kind of leadership, or is it Trump who's a nationalist? And I think that's, and then again, back to the Bible, and that's where I wanted to head, is that on that count, Babylon, what did it say when, I think it was Nebuchadnezzar, but whatever king is like, I'm going to, and God said, yeah, go eat grass. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Trump going eating grass. But he says, like, no, your border is set. You will not, Babylon will not get any bigger than where I've set your border. Jesus and God Almighty are nationalists, not in a worship God, but it is God of the Bible who sets national borders. It is Antichrist who wants no national, wants a global religion. Do you guys disagree with that, or?
Accurate.
Yeah, and I think AI is going to be a huge part of it because we're talking about these solutions. It's like, how do you solve all these problems? You control everybody with AI. You can stop crime before it ever happens with predictable behaviors.
And that's the thing with the AI, and even with our situation here, and it's not as, I don't think as it is as it is as strong as it can be and will be, and even in a positive thing, if that's, AI, why do my friends are so much on the globalist side? They hate Trump stuff. And Gigi, are you around?
Yeah.
So can you find out one of Obama? Because they're saying, well, Obama deported 3 million. 56 people were murdered by ICE agents, and but Trump does it worse.
Well, look, I'm going to say, Dan, to your point, to find out who's with us and who's not with us, we just have to simply look at who's gone to Israel and kissed the wall. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Don't tell me you're American. Don't tell me you're Christian. If you're going over to another country and kissing their wall,
if the government gives me a free plane,
kiss the wall,
I'll kiss anything. I won't have a heart to worship to it. No, I know what you mean.
Bruce is kissing a wall in his avatar.
No, I'm talking to the wall.
I thought you were kissing it.
No, I'm talking to it. See, I'm trying to negotiate with it.
You're the one making out with the wall.
If I can find 10 solid people in this city, if I can find 5 solid people in this city.
And Bruce found a brick wall. He found one. So anyway,
Jesus is in the Eucharist.
Did you find that yet, Gigi?
Oh.
Yeah, Obama's bad. He deported a lot of people. What else?
Well, it's just the point that, Obama did it nicely. No, it was the same thing. And if you put it in Gigi, it's his live speech. And I think it was 2010, where he told us what he thought. In practice, of course, the Democrat Party was already, just using words because they know most of the people. What I do? Most of the people were against giving illegals free stuff and let him break the law before. And even Obama was for that. I had a video, and I didn't find it again, where Obama was like, yes, we know that there is crime, there's human trafficking, there's rape, there's all this stuff on the border. And that's part of this whole thing of him saying we need to send back people. It doesn't matter if they're coming here for a better life. They got to follow the laws. There's people that are on lists that are following the laws, and they should be first, not somebody who breaks the law to come here. JD, did you find that one?
I linked the little Trump one in there, and
do you want to play it real quick?
Yeah, if I could, real quick, Dan and Gigi. I'm sorry. Sal, we just met in the chat like 20 minutes ago, so like I know we don't know each other, but I'm not a Jew hater. I'm really, really not. I am like I believe like Paul or like John wrote, right? In John's epistles, there's very definitely clearly a line. John is writing about us versus them, and it's not about me versus Jews. It's about Christ followers versus non-Christ followers. And that's really what it comes down to. I'm not a Jew hater. I've said this before. I don't have the time, energy, nor desire to hate on anybody. I just call it like I see it. I call balls and strikes. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong, but there's no hate involved. None.
No, and I do. And I just found one. I was going to bring it up, but I'll bring it up later. It was 1st or 2nd Corinthians, where Paul is saying, I don't get any help from you guys in Corinth. I get it from like Macedonia or something. Help me out so I don't have to burden you guys. But he was saying the offering, and that the offering, and he was so thankful that whoever gave it was going to God's people in Jerusalem. And it kind of sounded like actually the Jewish believers. But again, it's the believer part of it. And to me, again, you know what? Hopefully we can agree to disagree. But when you've got antichrists running Israel, the state of Israel is not God's. This can't be part of his God bringing in his Christ bringing in
Dan, real quick,
coming.
that's where I would disagree, Dan, because I would say that for a lot of years there was no Israel, even though Israel is in prophecy, right? So how would Israel be in prophecy if it didn't exist? And so then you get into the weeds of, was Hitler another pharaoh? Was he there just to make Israel on the map again? And then we still come down to God's will. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a slippery slope, though.
It's prophecy. The temple gets rebuilt.
Dan Pazzi. No, Dan Newman.
Yeah.
Here's a link to a thing, Dick. You don't like big tech? This guy says here's an alternative to big tech where you can search stuff. I'll put the link in the private chat. Yeah, love it.
You know, and this again, Gigi, this is for my fellow brothers, along with the Antichrist friends we have, that no. The only difference between Trump's deportations and Obama's is that the Trump hate squad wasn't around during Obama. So there was no protests with the 56.
Dan, don't forget there's been a sabotage campaign against Trump for the past 12 years.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, Gigi, can you play that video?
Which one?
There was the one that Obama is saying that he is deporting. He is not going to support people coming over the border, even if they're trying for a better life, because that's against the law.
But where is our line at, Dan? Where's our line? Because I was a Trump supporter. I was like, yeah, shake up the systems, drain the swamp. Let's do it all, right? I was all about it. And then what'd he do? He said, no more foreign wars. And then he turned around and ignored the advice of Mad Dog and bombed Syria twice. A Christian nation, right? Bombed them twice over what we knew was lies. We knew they were lies. So, and he did it anyway. He removed the general and then bombed him twice. And that's when I stopped supporting Trump, because that's when I knew he was on the inside. He is the swamp, like it or not. I mean, he might be doing things that are beneficial to us right now, but in the long run, I don't think he's on our side. I really don't.
Did bombing Syria, was that starting a war?
That was a Christian nation that didn't do anything to anybody else except oppose a centralized banking system.
Wait a minute. So Syria was a Christian nation?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't believe in Christian nations, but that's something we can agree to disagree with.
Used to be.
Well, Bashar was a Christian in any sense. Like, Bashar was a Christian and he tried to lead that way. So like, I mean, I don't know if you put to me a law in Assyria that says, hey, we're not allowed to be, I wouldn't know anything about that, but I'm just saying their leader professed to be a Christian and we bombed him.
Let's see, Gigi.
Thing is, Obama, angel, Trump, devil.
Right.
Put it this way: if Trump had deported 3 million people, you think you guys wouldn't know that answer? Of course you would.
See?
Okay.
Illegal immigrants did Barack Obama deport in his 8 years as president?
Oh, I don't know.
Have a guess.
No clue.
Interesting, right? You don't know.
I mean, I know it was a lot, but I don't know the exact number.
Have a guess.
What
The
did
answer
Trump?
is over 3 million.
Damn.
He was known as deporter-in-chief by Mexicans.
Yes, and that was more than Trump did.
He deported way more than Trump.
I
He
read
deported way more pro rata than any president in history. Who dropped the most bombs in a calendar year in American history?
Oh, come on.
Barack Obama,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Including drone programs and so on, right? Who got elected in 0809 on shutting down Guantanamo Bay? Barack Obama.
Yeah.
What is still open today?
Guantanamo Bay?
Correct, right? So I know that the general thing is Obama, angel, Trump, devil.
Right.
Put it this way: if Trump had deported 3 million people, you think you guys wouldn't know that answer? Of course you would.
I think it was 30.
What a state of the world when we got to look to Piers Morgan for our common sense, right?
Exactly. So I know I sent you a lot of Gigi. It was actually a speech Obama made.
I couldn't find them.
Okay. How about the cartoon though? That was a funny one.
The cartoon?
I think
Yeah,
they're all
right.
in-house sales.
Let me try to find.
Yeah.
I got this little troll in the chat that just wants some attention so much, and this is all he's ever going to get. It's hilarious and pitiful.
What troll is that?
No, I'm not going to name him.
Oh.
Oh.
Here's one.
Absolutely shocked to find out that 56 people have died under ICE custody. Where is the outrage?
Oh, it was under Obama, not mine.
It was under Obama.
That's right, Kamala. By the way, I deported more immigrants than any other president in the U.S. history.
Yet I am the one that liberals call evil. And you guys love to frame me as uniquely cruel on immigration, like everything suddenly became extreme the moment that I took office.
But history tells a different story. The so-called cages that we liberals loves to talk about, those were built under me. But no outrage, no viral protests, and no nonstop media coverage either.
It's not the deportations. It's how Trump goes about it.
Look, Cammy, ICE has always existed. It was created in 2003. It operated under Bush. It expanded under Obama, and it continued under Biden. The only thing that changed under me is the spotlight. And here's the part you never want to talk about. Obama, you deported more people. ICE always existed, but I was the first president to offer an exit instead of just enforcement.
Yeah, Mr. Trump is the first president to offer undocumented immigrants a real self-deportation option with incentives. Not me, not Biden, no other president in U.S. history. Plane tickets paid for, financial assistance, and the chance to live voluntarily instead of being caught and banned for years.
Yeah, since I took office, more illegal immigrants have self-deported than were removed by ICE.
Why is the only president who added choice to the system?
Okay.
One that liberals call.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, that incentive. I mean, they actually leave. They have an opportunity to come back, whereas if ICE busts you, it's over with. You can never come back. I mean, it sounds like a little cartoon, but that incentive is real.
And you look at that and it's like, that's compassion. They've broken our laws. There's people all over the world that don't happen to share a border like Central and South America do with the United States and can just walk on over. So you got millions of people in Asia that would love to come on over. Are we going to open up our airports? Come on in, open border. I would hope not. I would hope that there would be, or change the laws. That's other thing. If a majority of the United States wants open borders,
I don't like that idea, Dan.
I don't either.
I don't like that idea because like everything that Hitler did was legal. Everything the Bolsheviks did in the Red October was legal. I mean, that's very slippery by saying make it legal. That's very
well. No, I'm
very,
just saying on that issue, because again, I would put myself up to people on my giving to people less fortunate in other countries, and I'm thrown in the group that because I want laws to be enforced. I want our tax dollars to support American citizens. And then fine, once we have a surplus, once we stop spending so much money on bombs, once you've got like somebody like Obama who leaves what, 60, 50, 100, whatever it was, $1 billion worth of advanced U.S. equipment to the enemy that got to Russia and China. So now we have to up our military industrial complex to get the next level because we just gave away all our what we did back under. But come on, guys, let's take care of the citizens. That's what God put governments in charge of. And then as a people, we can say, yeah, I'm all for helping out the needy. I'm not for like these things that come out. And this is what's never addressed too, is that there was crazy spending from our tax dollars going to foreign countries for all kinds of stuff that's not helping poor people. No, nobody said, oh yeah, at least let's cut that out. Let's not support, what was it, some dancing people in another country, I don't care if they're gay, straight, or leprechauns, my money shouldn't have helped dance classes in another country. You know, no. And now we know all the corruption in Minnesota. Surprise, surprise, the place that the biggest attack on the federal government is a state that they have corruption. Somebody's already been penalized. The guy wanted deportation. They go, nope, you're going to prison. No. Anyway, Gigi, did you get that last one, which was Obama's own words? And this is just to show that it's like, people, you might be listening to AI. You're listening to something that's not, you're listening to something that's slanted. To think that Obama deported nicely. Do you have that one, Gigi?
It's the same video with Paris Morgan.
No. Was it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I'll find another one.
I didn't remember seeing him talk about that before.
Yeah, and so, but the other thing is that, so then these were just innocent. One guy was a nurse. He was helping people, and the other lady, she was just a mother. And it's like, I would never be shot because I wouldn't try to drive away when there's anybody in front of me. I would not have got in between any law enforcement when they're dealing with somebody. And that was the thing, like, oh, well, it was just a phone. The gun was back there. No,
fiber in Iowa.
You've got a pile.
Right.
It should be in Texas.
I think the problem is, I agree with you, Dan. Like, I would never do that either. But just because somebody did, you know, that this is the thing. Like I don't believe in a police state. I don't believe the government is allowed to just trample my rights. So, like, where is the line? And this is where the line is, right?
No, the line is, were they committing crimes?
Correct. But
is a car, and we now of course the media didn't come out to begin with. They just saw this guy, you know, let's take. But I mean,
like, what I'm saying, I don't want to sound too liberal, brother. I don't want to sound too liberal, but what I'm asking you is it a crime if somebody comes up if somebody comes up and tries to detain you, if somebody comes up and tries to detain you illegally and blocks your car and does this and that and the third, are you in your rights to drive off no matter what? Okay. That's what I'm saying. We got to worry about the police state.
Is that the evidence we have, though?
No, sir. I'm not talking about this particular case.
No, let's go to this.
I'm just saying the mindset.
Let's stay with this because they're calling ICE agents murderers on this case. I'll go with you. And there's a lot of police officers, agents in prison because of your situation. And I think we're all for that. This situation, the news media came out, the Democrats came out and only showed the one video that you couldn't really see all the angles. The guy went to the hospital. That is lethal force. Yep. It is lethal for an officer because who knows where she's going to. And that's the other thing people don't understand. She's speeding off a forceful, a lethal action towards law officers. How do you know she's not going to run down a little kid? The officer has to protect.
Yeah, that's pre-crime, though. That's what Daniel was talking about earlier. That's pre-crime. You think she might do something, so you detain her or resist her. That's what I'm saying. This is slippery slope. I'm not defending the lady. She deserved it. She ran over an ICE agent. I agree with all that. But I'm just saying, I am also a big fan of First Amendment auditors, and they are right also. The police state is way overstepping their bounds here, and we ought to acknowledge that.
Who is?
The police state. Police state.
So like the ICE police.
Yes, exactly. Like it or not, they may very well. I think local police departments, sheriff's departments, ATF agents, federal agents, they all overstep. We had Jessica Saxton and Tanawa Downing on explaining this in detail, vividly for 2 nights in a row. They consistently overstep their bounds. It doesn't make me a liberal to say that.
No, that is, but it's got to be case by case. And that's the problem, is that when somebody, and this is why your the Trumpites or the people who are like law and order and have no grace in their heart or Christianity, you're just going to turn them. And unfortunately, those people have more guns than we do. And so as you're seeing that, it's like, yeah, it's got to be case by case, both of these incidences and the whole rioting thing. And Gigi, you might have that when the same organizations were the ones that stormed a church.
Yeah, Don Lemon and his terrorist guys broke into a church. And,
correct. And now we have the liberals and probably some of my Christian friends are like, oh, they just attacking Don Lemon because he's an anti-Trump. Dudes, you're insane.
No, I'd attack Don Lemon because he's an absolute idiot.
No, I won't even do that.
Dude, I'm surprised that knucklehead was even there.
No,
like, how do you go from being a CNN anchor to doing that crap?
Hey, publicity. Hey, let's acknowledge this comment. Right. It says Americans don't understand the love of evil in Mexico. And Tar Baby Yoda, I would agree with that because I've seen the documentaries. I've met people. They literally pray to Mary before they go commit mass murder. They will pray
or smuggle drugs.
Yes, sir. They will pray that their plans come to fruition, no matter how evil they are. And
what's the cartel's patron saint? They always pray to a specific saint when they smuggle drugs.
Santa Muerta. It's the saint of death, who's not a real Christian
but
saint.
Also, though, guys, we don't want to go down that slope because more tattoos and what do they wear around the neck? It's a cross. So they are using, and so I will not
false brethren.
Just because they use a cross and it's Christos and viva la Christos, I'm not going to throw out Christ. And so that's a bad argument to go against things you disagree with, because then they're going to go after, you're going after yourself with that argument. But I would go, and Gigi, do you have that one of Don Lemon? I'm just case by case. He's an idiot, I think, my personal opinion. But he can. That's his First Amendment right. Where, Gigi, if you show this, he was part of going into a church, which is against the law to interrupt somebody's worship. And let's see, you got that, Gigi?
Yeah.
I think Tar Baby's got to get in here. He nailed it again, man. Tar Baby is like whoever has a monopoly on violence rules. He's exactly right. Get in here, Tar Baby. Come on.
It is historic. So let's listen to this.
He got it all on tape. The premeditation of the event on tape.
Speaking to an organization there that's gearing up to for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American
Gigi,
flag,
can you
whatever.
stop it for a second?
Yeah.
Detestable. First Amendment right, but that boy's a racist. To drive up, and because there's white and blacks mixed, that must be a mega. Come on, guys. That guy's racist. So, but that's not against the law. Go ahead, unless you're white, but go ahead.
But these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. And it's Takima Armstrong.
So now the government is going to go back and look at all his texts and all his emails, and they're going to figure out if he knew exactly where they were going, whether he knew that they were going to a church. But regardless, he busted into a private property. He crossed a line, and they had him arrested.
Pages, man. They take all my.
Yeah, and so this is the kind of people, we don't have to show it, but we have the nurse, Alex, who unfortunately, and this should see for everybody following the law, he had a mess. He went after law enforcement, broke attacked their vehicle, broke federal property. If he was sitting in jail, he wouldn't have been killed either. You've got to, so to me, and you look at that, you look at these riots, which are organized, and case by case again, this boy, Alex seemed like he was kind of unhinged. I had another one, and I don't know if I sent that with you to you, Gigi, but it's actually stupid nursing people or medical staffs who were on video going, yes, I think I will, if I see an ICE agent in here, I'm going to pretend I have a syringe of something that will paralyze them. Another one saying, oh, man, I think I'll get some poison oak from my property, put it in a spray bottle, and spray it in my patients' faces that are conservatives, not even just ICE, conservatives. That is not on both sides. I don't know any conservatives. And if there are, I want them put away. I want them locked up because that's evil.
There's a lot of political theater and hyperbole out there. And we saw something recently with Omar, where she got sprayed in the face by supposedly a conservative, but that looks so staged. And she was just like, I'm going to continue my speech. We can't let them win. And then you found out later in the evidence that the syringe wasn't even emptied. Like, I think that was staged. I think they know that's what is going to be coming out from the liberal pipeline is spraying people in the face. So they're like, we're going to make it look like we got attacked first.
We know by the history, we had that movie star guy who said that there was mega guys and it was just a couple of African natives who he hired to beat him up to look like it was mega. We've had tons of college incidents because they're ripe with we hate United States, that you can have a minority say, oh, somebody said something bad. You've had churches or schools, you've had the racist things painted on them and like, oh, it was a minority that did it. So I am all for, and I think probably everybody here, except for maybe Bruce, no, actually it's Joseph, I picked up, are for the KKK. That was a total joke. And they're supposed to be, oh, they're right wingers. No, I don't know any conservative and that is for the KKK. But then on the other side, you had Kamala Harris calling for and donating to a fund that was helping defend rioters on the Summer of Love, and these were the rioters that were caught rioting, and not peaceful.
That Chicago DA Kim Fox, she is a corrupt Soros politician, man. That woman let all them protesters free. I don't know. She didn't really prosecute the Smollett case, but the fact that she wouldn't touch it, it was like an irregular pattern and stuff there.
Dan, I need to tell you something. Joe
But-
Biden.
I was gonna just say that Smollett case, man.
Oh,
that
Bruce,
Chicago.
calm down for a second. Gangster Ghost wanted to say something.
Well, yeah, well, I was in the middle of saying something. That's the thing.
Well, no, he was going to add to it though. We're for you. We're for you. Let.
Yeah, let the host of the show speak. Is what they're saying.
Okay, but I was in the middle of speaking. That's what I was saying.
Well, okay, Bruce. What were you going to finish with? Because I don't know.
Thank you.
What else?
That Smollett case
but
threw
Bruce, wait a minute.
Chicago in a
Bruce,
curveball. That was
wait,
with Rahm Emanuel.
Bruce, wait a minute.